We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com.
Let's move on to Jonathan F. Jonathan works in the legal profession and loves sending us long articles. He passed along a write-up in the Washington Post about a Utah law that bans any establishment that is licensed to sell alcohol from showing any sexual acts or simulated sexual acts. Really, even simulated. The law was apparently meant to deter adult-only theaters and strip clubs, but it wound up being argued as a First Amendment issue because an officer reported a Cineplex that happens to offer alcohol for some screenings for showing the movie Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's simulated. Yeah. Idaho had a similar law that has since been narrowed so that regular Cineplexes showing wide-release movies aren't barred from showing any movie with a sex scene or nudity. And it appears as though Utah will narrow its law in a similar way. But Jonathan wonders, if you can't watch Deadpool while drinking a beer, what's the point of ever leaving your house? Amen, Jonathan. Come on. Look, I said I wasn't going to talk politics, but you can tell by my tone of voice how I feel about this.
Well, and dude, being in Canada what it takes to get an R rating in Canada, because R ratings are a little different, right? We have so we have PG, which is about the same, but then we have a 14A.
14A, okay.
14A, right? So instead of PG-13, we have a 14A, but 14A just means if you are under the age of 14, you have to be accompanied by someone who is over 18. Okay. That's all that. So it doesn't mean you can't bring a 12-year-old to a 14A rated movie.
You just have to come with your older brother or all those seniors that you hang out with.
And then we also have 18A, which is a similar idea. No one under 18 can go by themselves, but if they're accompanied by an adult, they can see an 18A. So everything that gets rated R in the States is, most of them are rated 14A in Canada, and then some of them end up being 18A. But we have an R rating, which is full-on restriction, which is no one under 18 can go into this movie. That's our R rating. To get an R rating in Canada, I don't even know what you have to do. I haven't seen an R rating in Canada in forever.
Well, yeah,
but
isn't that like our NC-17?
Basically, yeah.
Which never happens. I've never
Language, we don't. That's 14A. That covers all language, whatever language you want to say, unless it's something absolutely atrocious. And then it might be 18A. You can still see it if you're under 18. You just have to come with an adult. I was surprised because Logan got rated 18A in Canada, but it was specifically because it depicted violence against children, gory violence against children.
Right,
that's what got it an 18A. It wasn't the language. It wasn't anything like that.
Isn't that interesting? Because in America, I don't think you can get too violent. For an R rating. I don't think you can. I honestly don't think you can. But you can get too naughty, according to the censors. And
I mean, like nudity stuff. Like, okay, so what was it? Ex Machina, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, what a great movie. Loved it.
It has some full frontal nudity in it. It was PG in Canada. All right. Now that had a ton of F-bombs and full frontal nudity, but we said a robot examines its body in the mirror. We made the distinction in Canada that this was a robot examining its body, not a human.
Yeah, but that was a good-looking robot, Rob.
Even though it was played by a human, but we can actually make that distinction. Whereas, I guess, I don't know, I mean, I guess if you were drinking a beer while watching Ex Machina in a Utah theater.
Sounds like something you'd want to do. I love that somehow where I live in Alabama is more open than another state about issues like this.
I don't get the weirdness about nudity and sex that is pervasive in quite a few areas in the States. I guess it's the Puritan heritage or something going on.
Yes, that's America for you.
Some of it must be religious based, I would imagine, or something like that. We don't care a lot about nudity in Canada.
It's so weird here. I don't understand that. But sometimes the law gets funny. Here in Alabama, they forgot to make prostitution illegal outside of city limits until recently.
Okay.
Until recently, like some decade ago or so, somebody said, wait a minute. Is that legal? What?
But I mean, the going a little bit more in depth than what the article was saying, they were saying like this was what was it? It's something about doing harm to the community, right? That's it was,
Yeah.
which again, like a strip club does harm to the community. Apparently, it does. It just they consider that to be just harmful. Anything that they would call pornography, they just say is harmful to the community.
Yeah.
So okay, I don't know. I don't personally consider that stuff harmful to the community.
No, not at all. I consider it helpful to the community. I'm not kidding you. I think that there's a certain argument to be made about an outlet for people's thoughts and desires, and it serves a purpose.
But a wide release movie, I mean, look, they give the movies a rating, right? Deadpool was rated R in the States. It was.
Sure.
So it's you're not supposed to bring your 5-year-old to Deadpool. People did. I know people did. But, you're not supposed, they gave the rating. So it's like, you've got the MPAA rating. They've got descriptions of what's going on. If you're, I mean, like, let adults be adults.
Yes.
Right? Make
please.
decisions for yourself. I don't know. There you go. That's all I want to say about that.
I know. Some people love to
want to
decide things for you.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.